Came here to Beijing expecting daily protests under admittedly tight controls. Those protests here haven't materialized, but back home in New York, by contrast, there have been daily demonstrations, some of them much larger than today's gathering at the United Nations. We were curious as to why more of them haven't been going on here, since there was, after all, a system set up to organize protests, and Richard has been looking into that very story.
Brian, there were several attempts to organize demonstrations here. The government did not allow them. It didn't want the embarrassment.
It's the side of the Olympics China doesn't want the world to see. Human rights groups estimate nearly 40 activists have been detained or deported since opening ceremony. China promised it would be different. Last month, announcing 3 parks would be open for demonstrations. At all 3 today, we found boat rides, games, even elephants, but no protesters. Beijing police today said of the 77 applications they received, not one was approved.
It's not surprising there are no protesters here. The government has made it nearly impossible. Demonstrators have to apply in person, in writing, 5 days in advance. And human rights groups say at least 6 applicants have been arrested just for asking.
23-year-old Mi Yu told us his mother, Zhang Wei, applied on August 2nd to protest the demolition of their home to make room for a new road. A week later, Zhang was taken away. Police came to the door. They said she was suspected of disturbing the peace, he said. She was sentenced to 30 days detention. Trying to find out what happened to her, I went with a translator to Beijing's Office of Public Order.
Sir, I'm Richard Engel from NBC News.
I don't know about this, a guard said. We don't accept interviews.
So they're not letting us film here. This is the office where you have to apply for permits. They're sending us to another police station in another part of Beijing.
At the Beijing police headquarters, officers studied my press credentials, took photographs and video, and promised to investigate. I can assure you, he said, not a single person has been arrested for applying to protest. But that's not what we found at the Tuanhu Detention Center outside Beijing, where Zhang's family thought she was being held.
This is her photograph. We were told by her family she's here.
The prison director confirmed Zhang is here, but we couldn't see her. Our country has a legal system, he told us. All the people brought here have broken the law. But Zhang was never tried or even charged, just detained and silenced until the Olympics are over.
Today, a Chinese official said China has its own way of exercising democracy and that the Olympics are not the right time to air political grievances.
Brian reporting on that story. Richard Engel here with us.